Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Step Chat here at the Fortress of Solitude located just outside Seattle, Washington. For those of you that I have not yet had the pleasure of meeting, hi. Sorry, I literally just in the corner of my eye watched a dog toy go flying across the room because somebody is, of course, never had any energy at all until 30 seconds before I go live. So there's that. Hello, Linda. Good to see you. Angela, good to see you. Sherry Hatcher, good to see you. Our friends at High Floater out here tonight. Good to see you guys. How you doing? Miss Stephanie, how y'all doing? Good to see you. There we go. Let's float on it. And now you've gone and done it. And now you've gone and done it. He has thrown it and it has landed on top of something that he cannot reach. So there we go. What are you going to do? Hello, Terry. Good to see you. So yeah, good. Thank you all for being here. He's not going to quit. So let's go explore the mess that is the Fortress of Solitude right now. And Betsy De Leon, if you're watching this live or on replay, this is what's left. Go. So there we go. Hi, how's it going? So yes. All right, let's try this one more time. So I apologize for being a few minutes late tonight. Unfortunately, once again, I literally went to go live. I put the computer down. I walked away from something for about 10 seconds. I came back and Chrome had crashed. And as a result, I then had to completely reboot the whole thing and start the whole video process over again. So I do apologize for being a few minutes late. There we go. Terry, good to see you. Bridget, good to see you as well. Dina, as always. Joette, nice to see you. One of our fabulous sponsors at Balloon Coach. Mr. Aragoni, good to see you. And of course, one of our great crew members. And Linda, we love our dogs. Yes, we do love them. But they're a pain in the butt. But anyway, there we go. This week has been an absolute roller coaster in the Floativerse. It really, truly has. It has been. Oh, that's going to sit right there, I guess. It has been a rough day to say the least. Or a rough week to say the least. It's been really exciting at times. It's been really problematic at times. I can't really talk about the problematic stuff. I can't talk about the behind the scenes stuff because I'm not at liberty to yet. I will say though that the great thing about this week, 5 new companies, 5 new companies reached out about wanting to be involved, whether it's in the vendor showcase or sponsorship or whatever. That's tremendous. So and you know, one of them we've been trying to get to come to Float for a couple of years now. One of them we've been trying to get back at Float again a long time. They were involved a long time ago. We've been trying to get them back ever since. One of them we actually tried to get involved with Fulcrum, and they had no interest in that, but apparently they do at Float. Yeah, so we're excited about a lot of stuff going down here. But like I said, it's been like 1 minute this is great, and then back up again, and then you know it's fun. And like I said, I will share with everybody when I can as far as the other stuff goes, because it's going to affect the final result. This is so really weird. I'm seeing your comments here. I'm not seeing them on Facebook, which is so strange. I don't know what's going on there, but so if I don't acknowledge you, it's not on purpose. And then all of a sudden there you go. I say something about it, and then all of a sudden there they all are. Okay. So there we have it. Hold on one second. Sherry Hatcher, I think you're going to have to expand on this comment. I mean, I know how much you like Mocha Brown and all, but I think we need some context here. So yeah. Plus, then on top of that, you throw into the mix that this is the week before Halloween, and you know, we here at Balloon Designers have been kind of like going nuts, and I even told A to the L to the XA, I'm like, you do realize that most years we do try to bring somebody in for this. We try to bring somebody in, um, and and we didn't. Why did we not bring somebody in? So I literally bought an airline ticket yesterday, and so there we go. So let's see here. Deanna, good to see you. This is also, well, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us tonight here. Glad to have you. And Sherry Hatcher. Sherry Hatcher, that's what it was. Sempertex just released, they have a Mocha Brown. Yeah, we've had this conversation though. There's other brands that have Mocha Brown. But I guess it depends on what shade of specific Mocha Brown you really want. So there we go. For example, the Decomex Mocha Brown is actually, I call it more, to me, it's more like gingerbread. Like it looks more like gingerbread than it does like the traditional Mocha Brown. So it works really great when you need a contrast color. But yeah, so that's good. I'm glad to hear that. So there we go. Girl, what have you been doing with yourself? You've been gone forever. How the hell have you been? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Blanca, as always, pleasure to see you as well. Thank you so much for being here. Spoke too soon. Again, I'm clearly missing context on some of this stuff here. So there's that. And of course, a big shout out to Mr. Phil Whitehead, our Director of Security, joining us tonight on the show. Thank you very much, Phil. Good to have you. Good to see you. Thank you all for being here. Okay, so Sherry is saying it's really close to the Qualitex Mocha Brown. That's good. That's good. That's good to know. And then you won't have any more outbursts at Fulcrum. So that's really good too. We love you. So there you go. All right. So with all that being said, let's get going talking about float stuff. So here we go. Let's see. Bear with me while I get to the screen sharing and while I try to stop a dog from constantly hitting the chair. It's just one of those days. Okay. So here we go, and let's get everything set for you guys here so we can do this. Now, please remember, folks, unfortunately, I can't pop comments up. There it's gone again. I can't pop comments up during the slide share, the screen sharing. And actually, you know what I can do? Hold on a second. I just realized something that I might be able to do. Give me one moment here, guys. I apologize. Murphy, dude, you got to cut this out. You got to cut this out, dude. All right. Bear with me for a second. I know that I can do this. There we go. So maybe now I can actually there we go. Okay. Okay, so at least now I can see comments that come in because, like I said, for some reason on my Facebook feed on my phone, they're not showing up. So I'm not sure what that is. And what did I just do? Okay, I did something wrong. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's so weird how this has been going. Deanna, I've been gone forever, but still working with Judy, Elena, Dana's Balloon, Scott Tripp. I've just not been in it, but I still see it all. Okay, very good. Well, good to know. Okay, let's try this again. Let's see if I can, because again, for whatever reason or other, like I said, the comments aren't coming through on Facebook, but I can see them here. So let's see if we can do this and share the screen and hopefully not get too much messed up stuff here. So let's try this again. All right, there's that. And there's that. And nope, I got nothing. So as long as I'm screen sharing, I cannot see comments. So, and again, I don't know what is happening here. Hopefully I can see them. Well, no, I can. Okay, I can. Okay, so here's what's weird. I can see them on. I can see that you're seeing them, but I can't see them. By making this full screen on my end, all I can see is my slide. I can't see me in the corner. I can't see the comments. So you'll have to forgive me, everybody. We'll just have to scroll back through and see what we can catch up with later. Okay? So I do apologize. All right. Or you know what I can even do? Hold on. I'm going to take one more step here real quick. I'm going to sign out of Facebook. I'm going to come back in. And I'm going to try to see if that makes a difference with regard to the comment feed. Okay, it looks like maybe. All right, so let's try that. Okay, so sorry, folks, let's get going. For those of you that were paying attention to a calendar, yesterday, Saturday, October 25th, was 3 months till float. 3 months. We are today, as of today, we are officially 91 days until opening night at Float 2026. So we are looking forward to seeing all of you there. If you've not signed up yet, there's all kinds of stuff you need to keep in mind and get signed up quickly and all that fun stuff. We are really going to start promoting hardcore, the different options and everything, like starting tomorrow, because we have to. But yeah, remember, we've got multiple options to attend this year, but we'll get into that in a little bit. First of all, let's talk about Aloft. Aloft is our online streaming service that we provide. And it includes over 150 classes, videos, and podcast episodes for you. And your membership gets access to all of it, including our live monthly classes. Speaking of our live monthly classes, a big shout out to Leslie Hicks Mercado for doing a fantastic job with our class the other day, the Christmas Candy House. This is the recipe class for the gingerbread house, for those of you that look forward to making one or have never made one or like to make them or whatever. So Leslie was smart enough to teach it as a miniature version so that you could do everything right there and then blows up bigger. I have downloaded the video. I have not yet begun to edit it, but I will be doing that soon. And then, but again, we'll have it online for you by no later than November 10th. Okay. So once again, we do want to give a big shout out to Leslie, or as I like to call her, Poca Loca. Poca Loca. That means crazy little woman. So there we go. I adore her. She is just so fun. She is so, and frankly, and again, just constantly online, constantly marketing, constantly working her business, and always just a bundle of energy when she does it. I don't know when this woman sleeps. So thank you very much, Leslie, for such a wonderful class. We really appreciate it. Thank you. At the end of class, we shared with you who our next instructor was going to be. And tonight, I am thrilled to share that information with all of you. And I'm very excited about it. This is not one of your regular teachers. This is not somebody you're used to seeing listed up as an instructor. But if you've ever been to Float, you know this person very well. Or at least you should. I'm just going to get right to it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to our good friend and lifetime floater, Mr. Carl Woody, who is going to be offering our class coming up in November. Team building through twisting. Now, first of all, I know what you're going to say. You're going to look at that picture. What the living hell is on that table? I did 5 different AI-generated corporate office twisting balloons combinations, and that's the best I got. The two-headed dog is the best I got. So we're just going to go with that. So there we have it. So yeah, Carl Woody, ever since the COVID pandemic, when everybody got locked down, Carl Woody developed a program of using twisting techniques and things like that for office team building. And he has now turned that into a decent part of his business. And so as a result, Carl is going to share with you how he does it, how he reaches the customers, what he does, and both his in-person and his virtual option. Because to this day, Carl still does do the occasional virtual team building with twisting and stuff. In fact, there was an interesting situation that occurred, I guess it was about 2 years ago, where Carl calls me and he's like, dude, you got to help me out. I'm like, okay, what's the matter? He's like, I got a virtual call tomorrow. And one of the people is in Seattle and her package did not arrive. Because what Carl actually does is he actually packs up 260s and a pump and everything, and all of the people get one mailed to them. And he's like, it's got lost and it's not going to get there in time. So like, can you help me out? I'm like, oh, absolutely, I can help you out. There's no problem with that whatsoever. So I literally dropped everything, grabbed some balloons and grabbed it, bolted over to West Seattle and made the delivery for Carl, and yay. least I could do. But yeah, so Carl is going to be conducting this class. It's going to be taking place on November 18th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. As always, the class is going to be recorded and eventually uploaded into the Aloft streaming system. But again, all of our members get free live access to this class. If you're not a member, you'll be able to sign up. Well, you can always join Aloft, right? It's $80 for 6 months worth of access, or it's $120 for a full year. Don't forget, if you're coming to Float, there are tremendous benefits to you as an Aloft member being an Aloft member and coming to Float. So if you're not already, if you're registered for Float and you're not already a member of Aloft, you really should consider joining before like, I think it's December 5th or something like that. Sorry, January 5th, not December, January 5th. Angela, I am excited for this class. Great. Glad to hear that. Dina, sounds like an amazing class. Yay, Carl. Yes, I agree completely. So you can either do that or you can sign up starting later this week on the Orange store at floatconvention.com/orange store. Orange like the color, store like the retail, or as we like to say in España, la tienda. Yeah, you can sign up for Carl's class for just $25. And of course, if you do sign up for $25, you do get a free digital download of the class afterwards. So there's that. So thank you, Carl. We're so glad to have you on board teaching for us as part of the Aloft streaming program. Okay, everybody. So we have been, now that we are within the 100 days, right? Now that we are within the 100 days, we have absolutely been just undoubtedly trying to get busy work started, right? Because there's a lot of busy work to do. We print all the badges here. We have tried to get all the badges, or at least, the vast majority, like 95 to 98% of them done here in Seattle, as opposed to doing them on site, because it just takes forever on site. And today I started printing off the signs for the different trade show booths. Now I know that half of those are going to get thrown out because people are going to change booths and move around and everything else, but I still wanted to get started on them. But at the end of the day, this is all going down. Right now, we need your help. As of this weekend, we started requesting, as we talked about last week, this year on the Float badges, we are adding in addition to our security sticker and everything else, we're doing an added security measure by putting your face on the badge. Okay. So your face is now going to appear on your Float badge. Again, this is just another measure of security at the convention. And so people aren't sharing badges, stealing badges, whatever. So with that being said, I do want to remind everybody that we need your pictures. Now, I have personally emailed about half of the academic attendees thus far. So if you haven't gotten an email from me yet, don't be upset, because it just means it depends on where you are in the list. The problem is I'm only getting about a 10% return right now. So if I send out an email to 10 people, only one person is responding right now with their picture. That's not going to work. That is not going to work, because what's going to happen is then suddenly we're going to find ourselves trying to do 100 badges in a day, and that's when stuff goes sideways. So we really need you guys. If you've gotten that email from me, of course, I know most of you that if you did, you've already responded. But if you got that email from me, please, 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 please take a minute and please get me your headshot. Okay. This goes for sponsors too, by the way. I haven't approached the sponsors yet. I haven't reached out to them as of yet. But if you're a sponsor watching this, feel free to send your headshot in as well. There are some little bits of information we need to share with this, though. Please, number one, it's got to be a bust style headshot. So no full body pics. I know that you may have some really cool photo of you posing or something, blah, blah. Please don't. I need from here up. That's what I need. And in fact, well, we'll get to the next one. Please submit a recent photo. If your headshot, Bergen, I'm going to get to that in just a second. If your headshot is not recent within the last couple of years, just take a selfie. just take a selfie. This is for the badge, okay? Ultimately, this is for the badge. And then on top of that, no hats or anything that could potentially obstruct the view of your head. We did have one person submit a photo, and it was an adorable photo where she's like, peeking out behind a bouquet. Well, the problem is half her face is covered by a balloon. And while it might be adorable and it might be kind of hot, it doesn't work for that capacity. So, yeah, we need to make sure the free. Now, obviously, if you have a religious aspect that requires you to do something, that's a totally different situation. That means you'll also be wearing practically the exact same thing at float. So it's fine. But if it's not, please send us a bare-headed photo. And as we talked about, what we are going to be doing with your photos, in addition to that, is we are creating some social media content for you by creating the I Am Float meme. So if you do want it to look good, then yeah, you'd want to send a decent photo. I am doing the best I can. If your photo doesn't have a lot of headroom in it, right? What does headroom mean? Headroom means space around your head so that you can fill a circular image like that. A lot of people, the mistake they're making is sending me a photo with this much headroom, which is none. So what I have to do at that point is I either have to like double up stuff and mirror image stuff to fill it all the way through, or I have to, I mean, in one case today, it was really bad because literally the edge of the photo was here. I had to just completely take her background out and put her head on a standard, just static background, which I don't like doing. I think the natural background looks much better, but there was nothing I could do about this photo. So with that being said, I do ask that you guys give me some headroom as well for the photo. I know a lot of people are submitting professional headshots, and that's fine. But again, you don't have to. It can be a selfie. Just make it a nice, clean picture, okay? And if I have not yet emailed you, if I have not yet contacted you via email, please send your headshot to me. Bergen, this is your answer, to steve@floatconvention.com. This will make my life tremendously easy. Okay. So again, and if you didn't get an email from me, I mean, some of you have already sent me your pictures, or some of you, I had the photos already and you said, oh, you've got my headshot from blah, blah, blah. Use that one. So that's fine. So I've been doing that. Yeah, so there we go. So we're really excited about all of you guys. It's a variety of pictures. It could be anything, but again, please remember, just the head, the bust, whatever you want to do is fine, but please keep it kind of safe and sane for me. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And again, the sooner you can send these pictures to me, the faster I can get these badges done, which is tremendously helpful because again, there is nothing worse than, like yesterday, I got to make all of 4 badges. I wanted to get 10 to 15 done per day. And I had enough content for 4. And it sucks. I can't get stuff done that way. And like I said, we really don't want this kind of thing piling up because that's when mistakes get made. That's when we blow through a lot of product gets wasted because we're just constantly redoing it. So anything you can do to send me your pictures would be great. And to all of you who have sent me your photos, thank you so very much. I really appreciate you doing that for me. Okay. All right. Now let's get to our faculty because our faculty Zoom calls are all done. The last one was Monday. There were only 2 teachers that did not make, dear God, he did it again. He threw the toy somewhere he can't get to it. So all but 2 instructors made one of those video classes or video meetings. You are not my favorite people right now, but that's okay. As long as you fulfill the obligations that you've got, we're good to go. So with that being said, I do want to remind everybody that class notes are due on November 3rd. So let's recap just very, very quickly the bullet points that I need you to keep in mind regarding your class notes. So if you are a general class instructor or a foundational class instructor watching this video, please remember these tidbits of information for you. And if you are not one of those individuals, if you're just an attendee coming to Float, take a moment to review this because this is stuff that we do in an effort to make sure you don't get crappy notes. Okay? We take this very seriously. Number 1, 3 pages minimum content. A page, of course, is vertical 11 by 7 or 11 by 8.5. Okay? Like a standard sheet of paper. So minimum 3 pages, maximum of 10. We do not need epic novels. What we need is content that's quality. Okay. Please, no blank worksheets. You can do a worksheet or 2 even in your notes as long as they are not part of the 3 minimum pages. We once had an instructor submit 10 pages of worksheets. Folks, that is worthless to individuals that cannot attend your class. Okay. So please keep that in mind. So let's see here. No excessive photo use. Again, people love to fill their notes with photos because it takes up space. Guys, no. Please focus on content. Use photos as supplemental. The only exception to this rule is if you are teaching a recipe and you are doing a step-by-step of the recipe, and then I'm perfectly fine with using lots of photos, okay? Please send me it only in the form of PDFs. Please send it to me only as a PDF. Do not send me a Word file. Do not send me a document file. Do not send me a JPEG. Please send me a finished and final PDF form of your notes. The reason for this is I am working on a Mac. I don't have Microsoft Word on my computer. Every time somebody sends me a Word file, it opens weird. Pictures are all over the place, and I have to completely reconstruct the notes. I got to deal with 50 classes, guys. Please make my life easier and send me a PDF. Okay. Your slideshows are not your notes. Okay. We're done with this. Last year, several people just, oh, no, these are my notes. And it was their slideshow presentation. No, it ain't. That is not your class notes. Class notes are written, actual notes. Come on, guys. You're getting paid for this. Please know the difference. Okay. We will not accept Canva-based, horizontal, clearly intended as slideshows. We will not accept those as class notes. Okay. No sponsor ads in your notes. You are not allowed to include a page of notes in there as it can't be a flyer for your sponsor. That cannot be part of your notes. Okay. If you are teaching recipes in your class, if you're teaching just techniques, that's fine. But if you're teaching actual recipes, you must have one complete recipe minimum in your notes. Okay. And there's one other thing I forgot. Well, I just didn't forget. I ran out of room on these things. Maybe if I'd made my font smaller, which you will be doing too. Do not number your pages and do not submit a cover sheet. Okay. Float creates our own cover sheet, so you don't need to be doing that. And a cover sheet does not count as 3 pages. So just don't even bother. Don't even bother. Okay. It's not being presented in that manner. All the notes are going in the books this year. So that's all there is to it. And again, as a reminder, general notes and foundational class notes are due a week from tomorrow, November 3rd. Also keep in mind, you are responsible for connecting with your sponsor prior to submitting these notes because many of the sponsors want to review them before you send them to me. Okay? Keep that in mind. So there we go. And again, for our teachers, I do want to remind you that the link to our faculty meeting, we actually pieced together a couple of meetings because I forgot to start recording on one of them. And and of course, the one I forgot to start recording on turned out to be the best one of the bunch. So I took a section from the first one we had and cropped it in and added it to the second meeting. And so there we go. So that was released. It is on our YouTube page, but it is not publicly available. You have to have the direct link in order to watch it. All the faculty was sent that link earlier today. So please make sure that you take a moment to review that video. If you didn't attend one of them, you better watch one of the videos. And if you did attend and you just want a refresher, the information is there. Thanks to our friend JD. So there we go. Okay. Vendor showcase. The vendors and stuff. The other night, me and Scott had a great meeting with our vendors and sponsors. And that Zoom call was recorded and it's also been uploaded to our YouTube channel, again, as an unlisted video. So with that being said, all of our vendors and sponsors were sent that link earlier today. So please check your email to find that link. And once again, I have reached a point where it does not appear. Oh, maybe I am. Can't tell if I got stuff coming or not. So those of you that are sponsors and vendors at Float, you were sent that link earlier today. Check it out. You were also sent the hotel link. You were also sent updated versions of the vendor packet and the sponsor packet. That includes information about what's still available to sponsor, as well as your vendor information and a lot of the stuff that Scott and I went over the other night on the call. So there is that. We also want to take an opportunity once again to welcome our friends at Legenda and Borisino for coming back to again. We announced them last week. They're coming back to sponsor Float. We're very excited about that. They are working in tandem with our friends at High Float. So yay, thank you very much for that. So Legenda equipment and everything should be available for us at Float 2026. We're very excited about that. So thank you to Simon. Thank you to Andrea from High Float. And thank you to everybody who's bringing that, making that possible. And we want to remind everybody that our friends at Float Co. have rebranded themselves for Float. They are coming. I believe what it is the Float Co. is their, I believe that's their day-to-day decor business. So they're rebranding into the actual industry-oriented brand. So Foils by Float Co. Will be joining us at Float. So there we go. So thank you for that. I do believe there is a new website coming for them as well. But as of now, it is not yet available. So once that becomes available, we'll be sure to let you know. Thank you. Speaking of which, I do want to remind everybody, if you're watching this video out there, there are still some very, very prime sponsorship stuff still available. Okay. Again, the tote bags went back on the market. They were actually already out there before. The problem was, but we were going through a different vendor. And a lot of people are like, wow, the price of these is really high. And I said, I know, but it's this and it's this and it's this and it's this and it's this. And they all said, yeah, we get that. We appreciate it, but it's really high. And I said, I get it. And then we had to find another source. And then when we found another source, the price came way down. So I was very happy about that. I was happy about the fact that we could bring the price down. So with that being said, the tote bags, which are normally one of the first things grabbed about Float, are still available for sponsorship. So that's out there. The entire Monday soiree is available. No one has yet sponsored the stage decor for the opening night event and fashion show. Major stuff. The karaoke party is still open. Friday Night Fun is still open. There's lots of good stuff still available. This year, we added some entrances for sponsorship. Those are still available. So very excited about a lot of this stuff. So if you're interested in sponsoring something, let me know if you haven't already done so, and we can set you up. So there we go. Okay. And plus, on top of that, now that I think about it, we also have some things that are getting limited. There are only 3 sponsor spots left in the jam room. There's only 1 spot left on the back of the t-shirt. The free t-shirt that everybody gets, there's only 1 left on the back. So there's all that. Ryan Farewell, good to see you, sir. Our competition director at Float. There we go. Good to see you. The timing couldn't be more perfect. Speaking of competitions, I've been getting a lot of requests from people for information. I understand it. I know you're like, dude, why haven't we talked about floaties yet? Why haven't we talked about this? What's going on with Designer of the Year? Again, we are okay. So one of those, remember at the very beginning of the call, I talked about roller coaster stuff, right? That's one of the roller coaster conversations. The good news is that comes to a head tomorrow, regardless. A decision is formally made tomorrow, regardless of the situation. So with that being said, I do want to remind everybody that our live competition Q&A will be taking place on Thursday, November 6th. Again, part of the delay for this too is me, because I have yet to write up the new rules for the column competition. So don't get mad at Ryan and Laurel, because it ain't their fault, it's mine. But again, we've also had other complications from outside of our purview or outside of our control that have delayed this slightly. So there's that. Also, well, first, let me finish this point. So our live competition Q&A will be taking place on Thursday, November 6th, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. We're going to go over everything. We're going to go over Designer of the Year. We're going to go over all the competitions as they currently stand. We'll be sharing the themes of those competitions with you. We'll be talking about the deadline competitions. And, of course, we'll be talking about the floaties. So there's all of that, and we're very excited to share that information with you. Also, I want to remind you, if you were one of the people with damaged floaties at the last convention, this completely fell off my radar. And I apologize for that. So we would like to get that rectified and taken care of ASAP for you. So please reach out to me. Let me know if you're one of those individuals, and we'll get a replacement for you right away. So thank you. I do apologize for that. Again, completely fell off my radar. Okay, let's get to what we like to refer to as our street level content for Float 2026. Very excited about this kind of stuff. And of course, we start out once again with the Step Chat survey. We've asked some questions already about Float. We've asked some questions about what's your what's your biggest reason for going, what's your biggest drawback, which is that. Today, I thought we'd talk just a little bit about the social events. Because we have, and here on Step Chat, we're gonna be starting going over a lot of that stuff very soon with you. But we wanted to find out just from you which of the social events you are the most excited about attending coming up at Float 2026. And the results did not surprise me. The number one winner was the Designer Awards Gala, which of course is our final night event. It tends to be the most spectacular. And this year it has a very special meaning because once again, it is being done as a tribute to our friend Tommy DeLorenzo, who passed away almost a year ago. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it kind of has. So we're excited to see what the team of Balloons by Tommy comes up with for the decor for that. On top of that, second, in a very close second, was opening night with Mia Asano and the Float Fashion Show, which this year is now officially a formal part of the opening night event. And then, of course, the random other stuff popped in. I kind of had a feeling this is what it was going to be. This is the vast majority of it. I have to admit, I was surprised that no one picked the karaoke party at all. And yet someone picked the Friday Night Fun. I get the feeling it might have been one of the volleyball players for the Friday Night Fun. I just find it so hard to believe that nobody picked the karaoke party. Given how many people get up on stage and sing and everything, I'm surprised. But again, I understand that you had to pick one, right? Like the one thing you're the most excited about. So there we go. Stacy Chase, reminder, there's a blood drive for Tommy on October 31st. I have no idea what this is about. I apologize. I have no idea what you're referring to. So feel free to expand in the comments. Yes, Lisa, I agree with you. So hard to pick just one. And that's kind of why we force this issue on people. But I do want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who did take the time to fill out the survey. So thank you very much. I do want to remind everybody that Float is on YouTube at youtube.com/@thefloativerse. And I apologize, but for the time being, I have given up on the summary, the Step Chat summary. I apologize sincerely. If you were with us last week, we talked about how I was going to give myself an extra day. There still ain't a summary yet. Like, we've had so many clients this week throw so much side stuff at us. It was crazy. And it's happening again next week. For the next week or two, I'm just taking a break from the summary entirely because I still have a Step Chat, or not a Step Chat. I still have a podcast episode that I recorded a month ago that I haven't edited yet. And I have to record another one before October 31st. So at the end of the day, the summary is on hold for now. So this full video, this full episode tonight will be uploaded to the YouTube channel tomorrow. And of course, it'll be up on public. So that won't be a problem. It's much easier for me to upload the full video because all I got to do is cut off the timer at the beginning and make sure the end doesn't go on too long. And that's it. But unfortunately, the summary is just eating up too much of my time right now, which could be far better spent making badges, blowing up balloons, delivering balloons, tearing down balloons, dealing with clients, all that fun stuff. So there we go. So Ryan, I am excited for bowling. Yes, I am too. That's actually going to be very, very fun watching our sponsors battle it out to the death. I'm kidding. It's not to the death. You know that. All right. Folks, don't want to leave out is what I was trying to say. Let's not forget about our good friend Lisa McIntyre with Kick It Back with Lisa Mac this coming Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. It is our virtual happy hour hosted by the one and only Lisa McIntyre. The stream is done here on the Float Facebook page, The link for the live call is placed in the Float Facebook group, which is under Security Wall. The first hour of the call goes live on Facebook. You can either join in the call live and be part of the conversation, or you can just leave comments in the chat like you guys are doing here, and that'd be great. And then after that, they go into what's called after party mode. Anyone and everyone is welcome to be on the call. Anyone and everyone is welcome to be on the call. This isn't a click thing. This isn't a by invitation only thing. Anyone listening to the sound of my voice is willing and is welcome to join Lisa on the call. So we're excited about that. That's going to be taking place this Tuesday, the 28th of October. And then, as if that wasn't enough, on Wednesday, October 29th, the Ladies of Working Wonders are back for another episode. So join Ronnie, Lisa, Debbie, and Crystal as they tackle another topic. Lisa, I know you're out here. I forgot to look at what the subject was for the meeting. So if you have it and you have it in the top of your head, if you could put it in the chat, that would be wonderful. I would greatly appreciate that. So yeah, there's that. Hey, there's Stephen Mayhew, representing one of our fabulous sponsors at LA Balloons. Thank you very much for being here, Stephen. There we go. So very excited about that. For those of you that are unfamiliar, Working Wonders is kind of like our version of The View, except with a lot less snarkiness. Let's just put it that way. So no politics and a lot less snarky. So there we go. So join the ladies this coming Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. I have had requests to get that made into a shirt. I don't know, but there you go. And folks, with that being said, that will do it for tonight's slideshow presentation of StepChat. So let's get to where we stopped sharing it. There we go. Okay, so let's turn that off and let's get back up here. Becky, here we go. Yes, Friday. Yes, it was part due to volleyball and part because the volume level and reduced number of people allowed for mingling. Yes, that's very true. That is one of the nice things. About the Friday night fun, because there's only about 100 or so people that have arrived at that point. So yes, it is. It is a smaller function, but also keep in mind, one of the things that we are doing this year, this is a nice little segue. One of the conversations that I had with people like you after the convention was that they like Float. They love the fact that it's gotten bigger. They like the fact that it's, now a much more massive event. But at the same time, they're sad about the fact that they've lost the smaller feel, right? And it's true. And unfortunately, when you got 1,000 people coming, you can't have both. But what you can do is try to create opportunities for people to break up into smaller groups. That's one of the reasons, for example, why we have the Float Flop Zone / the Jam Room this year, going in conjunction with other events. The Monday Soiree, for example. Last year, I noticed that, in 2022, when we did the beach party, I was like, wow, there's hardly anybody in here. But I thought to myself, that could be because of the fact that COVID, right? It was the COVID float. So it's very possible that people didn't want to be, too close to each other and everything else. But then last year, 2024, not last year, last convention, 2024, I walked in and there really wasn't, we had almost 1,000 people there, and I'd say there were maybe 250 people in the room. So I'm like, what the hell are all these people doing if they're not here? Well, obviously there are people that want to do other things, right? So we decided that it was imperative to create supplemental events going on so that people could do other things if they don't want to go. And the thing about like the soiree, which was, of course, the beach party then, people are going to want to go check it out. They're going to go, well, let's go see the decor. Let's go this and that. But if they don't want to stay, they can go back to the jam room. So they'll still be intermingling. They'll still be going in and out. They just won't necessarily be standing there. So we wanted to create opportunities so that people could hang out and be in smaller groups and kind of connect with people in that capacity, as well as go to the larger functions. So it is something that we are taking very seriously. And I hope that it helps you guys out. So thank you very much for your comment. There we go. Okay, Stacy, redcross.org and use code balloons by Tommy. There's an actual in-person drive on the 31st at Balloons by Tommy, but anyone else can donate across the country with that information. Couldn't copy the QR code, but it's on the Balloons by Tommy Facebook page. Okay, great. Thank you very much for that, Stacy. Yeah, I apologize. This is something I was not, I was unfamiliar with. So there is that. Here we go. Subject matter for Working Wonders. Halloween week, we're talking horror stories. Would love people to submit theirs to us to read and discuss live on the call. I have done that a few times in my podcast. So yeah, there's that. So that'll be a fun night for sure. Scary. Very good. Thank you, Lisa. Tabitha Miller asks a good question. How many students are registered? As of right now, roughly 400. Almost 400 actual attendees, not staff, not sponsors, not that kind of thing. About 400 right now. We expect to see a surge next month because, again, there's a rumor that there's a coupon code being offered next month. There's a rumor. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah, we expect to see a surge next month. And, of course, the price point ends on the current price point of $795 ends on January 2nd, I think it is. I think that's the last day, or January 1st. I can't remember. I got to look it up. So, yeah. But also don't forget, too, like if you want to get a tote bag and a backpack, or not backpack, tote bag and a T-shirt, dear God, don't even get that started. If you want to get the guaranteed T-shirt and tote bag, you got to be registered by December 1st to be guaranteed. Because after that, it's a crapshoot whether or not you get one. So there's that. So yeah, there we go. Hopefully that took care of your question for you. With that being said, folks, that does it for my presentation for the night. So if there are any other questions that you guys have, I'll stall for a few minutes to wait and see if anything comes in. But yeah, like I said, this was a rough week. Again, so there's some behind the scenes stuff that's going on that's completely out of my control. I had to send this week I've had to send 2 very like line in the sand style emails that I didn't think I'd have to send. And I don't like sending them, but you know what people don't realize is when you are running an event of this nature with the number of moving parts that we have going now, because again, I was just complaining about this the other day. I'll expand on this in a second. When you look at the number of moving parts we have, I understand that you're busy and you can't focus on this until December or even January, but that doesn't work for the production of this event. We've been telling for months how like notes, we need notes, and teachers are like, I'm going to need more time. No, you don't. You've had 6 months. I mean, I get it that you didn't focus on it till now, but you had 6 months. Various elements with competition stuff, the different things like I said, I can't go into yet. So it's really imperative. And again, like the headshots, right? This is one of the reasons, by the way, why we did the floaties. We have 3 different price ranges. We have like a $3, $5, $7, or $5, $7, $9, whatever it is. I don't remember. I think it's $3, $5, $7. The reason we do it that way is because we had to incentivize people to submit their entries earlier, because when we didn't, and it was all the same price, everybody was waiting till the last day to submit floaties. And I was getting 600, 700 photos in a day. You can't process that. You just can't. It just turned out to be way too much. So as a result, we had to come up with a system in which we could tier it. Same thing with the headshots. We really need you guys to take a moment and do that. Hi Float, we appreciate all the hard work you do. Oh, that's very sweet of you. I have to spotlight that one. Thank you. And thank you very much. And I do appreciate it. And again, I do also want to be very clear. The vast majority of people involved in Float are not an issue. Not at all. So many delegates are so amazing. So many of the sponsors are great, and lots of High Float included, by the way, have always been right there. What can we do to help? What can we? Blah. Tremendous partners. And I also want to be clear that even the ones right now that are being problematic, in some cases, it's not even their fault, right? It's just things are happening that they can't even control sometimes. And so there's only one situation right now that I'm even dealing with where it's really kind of their fault. And like I said, I had to send an email. It's like, okay, it's this or it's this. What are we doing? Because we're just not there. I mean, we are running out of time. So, so it is what it is. But thank God, thank God, I'm aging out. I know this sounds funny, but thank God my testosterone levels are diminishing as an older man, because I don't know that I'd have the patience. But because Lord knows, if you knew me 15 years ago, I didn't have the patience that I have now, and I attribute a lot of that to the fact that just the graceful diminishment of aging is tremendous. Never thought in a million years I'd appreciate that. So yeah, there we go. But yeah, so there we are. So, yep. Well, I haven't seen any new questions come in, so I will stall for another moment or two. Yeah, I had made a comment earlier. I was normally, when it comes to float, I get stress spots, and I get two of them. I get one on my shoulder, in my upper back, when I'm working on float stuff and I'm on the computer for a prolonged period of time, that knot just forms like massively. And then when I'm really stressed out, I get a different one in my foot. And then I'm like hobbling around because I've got this huge knot in my left foot. And earlier this week, in one day, I had both of them already. And I'm just like, oh my God, if I'm having both of these already, I'm dead. Like, oh God. So, but at the end of the day, we'll make it work one way or the other. Thanks to an incredible group of people that are working with me. Our team leaders are doing a fantastic job so far. I would like to take a moment to give a couple shout outs to some of the team that's working behind the scenes right now. Big shout out to JD Daniel, who is our faculty liaison, who's already jumped in with both feet and is addressing a lot of situations and challenges. I want to give a big round of applause to Scott Shortreed, who is also taking on tremendous responsibility regarding the vendor showcase and everything else moving forward. Great guy, love working with him. Carl Woody, of course, who he's the glue behind everything behind the scenes. Pia Guadalupe, huge round of applause to Pia Guadalupe. Pia has really been stepping up, like some of the conversations with some of our sponsors from outside the U.S. They'll tell her things that they don't tell me, and then I'll find out, okay, this is what's really going on, or this is what they're really talking about, or this is what they really need. Okay, thank you. Pia has been just fabulous, and dealing with all that while dealing with her own situation and everything else. So yeah, so there's that. Yes, Lisa McIntyre, with a friendly reminder that next week's Kicking Back is going to be the international episode. I didn't want to make a meme because I hadn't talked to you about it yet. So there's that. So we'll post more about that later on in the week. So thank you for that, Lisa McIntyre. So yeah. Well, I guess that's where we are for the night. Well, thank you all very much once again for joining me here at the Floaters of Solitude. I greatly appreciate you being here. I know some of you have just been waiting for this moment throughout the entire show. Hi, Murphy. There you are. There you go. You're right there on camera once again. It's Murphy, everybody. How's it going? Like, he won't let me do it. Like, try to move his hello, Steve, how's it going? No, he won't do that. But yeah, so And the rain is coming down again because it is Seattle. So there we are. Okay, folks, thank you all very much for being here once again. I appreciate you. On behalf of Murphy and myself, we will see you next time here from the Fortress of Solitude. In the meantime, go out there and kick some butt. Thanks a lot. Have a good one. Bye.